When I was little, my dad would spin me around the living room and he taught me how to waltz. And then when I was in high school, we went to prom and homecoming and I danced until I dropped. At that time, it was a little bit more like jumping around or swaying in one spot with the date that brought you. And then when I was in my 20s and all my friends were getting married, we would dance at their receptions. And the sorority sisters, we would get together and we would sing the sorority song and then we would do the electric slide all night. And then when my children were babies, I'd slow dance them to sleep. Which may be why sometimes I still dance in the kitchen while making dinner. And I try to entice them to dance with me too. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But on the whole, I actually don't dance that often. I mean, who does? Not long ago, though, I actually took dance lessons. Well, the funny thing about dance lessons is there are actual ways you're supposed to move to the music. And actual ways you are supposed to engage your partner. I couldn't just move any way I wanted to. So anyway, one of the things that struck me, or it may just be that I'm sort of a romantic at heart, is the manner in which you are supposed to approach somebody when you want to ask them to dance. So for example, the instructor wanted to show me how to properly do something, or to make sure I understood, because I often got the steps wrong. He would hold his hand out, and he would bow a little, and he would look me right in the eyes, and then I would take his dance. A hand, and he would make me dance. And it was the exact same way when I would dance with my dad. My dad would remind me to move with him and not lead, even though I'm sure I'm a good lead. Apparently he doesn't think so. And that I was supposed to look at him, not at my feet, and smile. Something about the smiling was always important to him, because dancing is supposed to be fun, right? Well, my dad is a great dancer. And I'll tell you something, whenever I dance with my dad, I look like I'm a great dancer too, even though I'm actually not. Well, I don't know if it's my love of dancing that colors my reading of the story today, but that moment when Jesus calls the woman over to him, before he heals her, she's bent over, right? He must have bowed down to look into her eyes and seen all the pain that she carried deep in her soul. And he must have held out his hand a little with his palm opened, waiting for her to place her hand in his, for her to place all that burdened her into his hand. So come dance with me, his body says to her. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of, the old, wrinkled, bent-over woman thinks. So we should actually stop there, because there are two possible endings to the story. We happen to know what the ending is, but it would serve us well to realize there are two endings. Because it could be, the Bible could say, the old woman moves back, off to the side, bent over with age and soft bones. She doesn't want to be a bother. She has not danced for what seems like 100 years. Her heart is too heavy with the lack of hope. And each day that passes crushes her spirit a little more. She cannot. She cannot take his hand, because what if he can't even make her dance? That could be the ending. Or it could be this. The old woman pulls her body into the center of everything, where everyone can gawk at her, just so she can be there with him. Her face and shoulders are pushed heavily down by all that weighs upon her. But he did call her there, right? She hasn't danced for so long, but she remembers what it felt like in her youth to twirl and spin, to laugh and sing, and she'd like to do all that again. And And Jesus careens his face down to look into her eyes. And then she takes his hand. Maybe purely for balance. Maybe out of desperation or curiosity. Maybe she wanted a dance partner. There are two possible endings. Just like every single time someone holds their hand out and says, "Will you dance with me?" Well, the easy answer is her aching back kept her from dancing, and her compressed lung cage kept her from rejoicing. It isn't her body that's paralyzed. It's her soul. Her spirit is crippled. That's what it says there. Beyond anything else, it is her soul that aches with the need for freedom. How can one have life, or live life, or do life with a spirit that just won't dance? How can one worship, or rest, or rejoice with a spirit that's bound? It seems downright impossible. And that bound soul rings so much truer to me than anything else in the whole text. It seems more the point than anything else. I know that the religious leaders in this story would tell you the opposite. They will tell you that this story is all about keeping the Sabbath. Because there they are, shaking their heads. Doesn't this guy know that you can't dance on Sunday? Doesn't this guy know that you can't dance in a church? I mean, this here is proof positive that he's not the Son of God. But there are some who saw the gladness dancing in the woman's eyes, saw her joy having taken Jesus' hand, and they knew that they wanted to dance too. So do you know how to dance? Have you forgotten? Maybe all the music out there today is a little bit different than the music you used to dance to. Or maybe you never learned. It's hard to learn new dance steps, and sometimes it takes a bit of practice. Sometimes it takes a long time, as a matter of fact. And sometimes you end up tripping over your own 2 feet while you're learning. So I thought that we had better get started, because I'm pretty sure that Jesus needs us to dance. Jesus and I actually had some serious conversations this week about this, because I was pretty sure you were going to look at me like I had 8 heads when I'm getting ready to ask you to get up out of your pew and we're going to dance. But he seems pretty intent on it. So who am I to argue with Jesus? So what I need is for everybody to get up. and I need for you to get a partner, and you can or you can be by yourself. It's okay to partner up with somebody that you don't know or know and it could be girl, boy, mom, kid, whatever. Here's a dance partner for you. Come out from the pews.
I know.
Do you need a partner?
Carter?
Here, let's
Okay,
go back
so I had already spoken with Carter, and he is going to come up here and help me out. So, and if you're somebody that it's really hard for you to stand or dance, it's okay. You can watch. So first, Carter and I are going to show you the dance step that we're going to be doing. We'll practice it for a little bit, and then I have music, and I'll talk to, I'll just tell you now, because I know that this is going to be a little confusing. The music that we will be dancing to is a contemporary rendition of today's psalm, which is Psalm 103, and it's the whole bless the Lord, oh my soul piece. So, you're going to take your partner. You can go ahead and do that. They won't bite, I think we're pretty safe with the people here. Okay, so looking at your partner, because I know we have some interesting combinations here, you're going to decide which way you and your partner are going to go first, left or right. And the basic dance step is going to be slow, quick. It's a really slow song, so nobody's going to trip over their feet. It's So this is how it's going to go. It's slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick. This is about how slow the song is. Slow, quick, quick. Is everybody clear? Slow, quick, quick. Can you see my feet? So one second. Harder right now. So you're here. Here I'll go. Here. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. You're just doing like a rock.
You don't go that fast. It's just you.
Okay? Now, here I'm going to tell you one more thing. Is if you get confused, just move your body a little bit. God will be okay with that. Okay, so are we all ready? All right.
No, that's
So does it go in here? I'll tell us when to start.
Look at each other's eyes.
Here you go. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, So that was fun, right? Easy?
No.
Hard? Hard? Well, I figured it would be a little chaotic, and it would be harder for some of us than others. And I'm actually pretty glad that that's the way it went, that we couldn't just all do it on the first go round. And I'm glad that we are all in here together, laughing and looking around for what to do next. Because if it all came so easy, then this whole exercise wouldn't be reflective of the gospel text today. Part of the reason I've had us do something, instead of just think about this story, is because just like with anything else, it's one thing to think about it, but it's a whole other thing to begin to put it into practice. It's one thing to say, obviously the religious leaders are missing the point. It's a whole other thing to change the way you do church or think about the law. It's one thing to say, of course the woman rejoiced when she was healed. It's a whole new dance when you consider that she also had to change the whole way she perceived God. Dancing doesn't come easy. I imagine that the woman in the story had adapted and accommodated for so long that she had nearly forgotten how to hope, nearly forgotten how to dance. The cane was much more enticing for quite a while. But Jesus didn't forget. He took her hand just as he takes each of ours and takes the hand of the church and says, "You're set free. Time to dance." Jesus wanted the church then to dance, and so he taught them new steps. And Jesus wants the church today to dance. And he's teaching us new steps. And I think we're tripping over our feet a lot right now. And that doesn't mean we go back to dancing in circles like a little junior high kid in the corner. just because there's no chance that we'll mess up spinning around in a circle. I mean, don't you want to do more on the dance floor than that? I know that I do. It's time to be a dancing church, a church that brings about hope and healing and joy. The world out there, the world in here, could use a whole lot more dancing and a whole lot more joy. I have been listening for years now, and I actually know you guys have been listening for years now, to how the church has to change and be more relevant, how the church has to get out there and do it, how the church just isn't that important to people anymore, how maybe if we tried this program or that program, then maybe people would come to church. Maybe then they'd respect the Sabbath. Well, I hate to tell you this, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I think that those things are true, but at the risk of sounding like a Lady Gaga song, the answer to all the wonders of the church, how we're supposed to heal this body of Christ, is the same today as it was 2,000 years ago. Just dance. With great love for the church, with a profound need for Jesus in my life, and with extreme expectations of what can happen on the dance floor when two bodies really connect and start talking to one another and moving as one. I'm telling you that it is time to start dancing, because the dance of God will change the world. It's time for the church to stand up straight and to have something to rejoice about. It's time for us to not be scared of tripping and falling. And it's time for us to stop doing the same dance steps over and over again. It's time to be excited. It's time to be excited that Jesus Christ changes lives. You don't just come here on Sundays and be glad or thankful. I mean, I'm thankful and glad about chocolate candy bars, but it's time to actually rejoice. I don't know if I need to give you permission or something, but sometimes I feel like I do. The best thing that you are ever going to hear into your entire life, you're about to hear right now. So if you've heard nothing else, Jesus heals you, and Jesus forgives you, and Jesus loves you. And God came down to earth to say, will you dance with me? That's something. What more can we hope for? It's time to let that crippled spirit go, whether it's your own or the crippled spirit of the church, and cut loose in the world. We got to start dancing. Amen.